Welcome back to the channel today, guys. It is Griffin. Today, we are going to be taking a look at the ONEXFLY F1 Pro, the ONEXFLY made newest handheld device with the AMD Ryzen 9 AI chip. And I have to admit, this thing has a fantastic premium feel to it. We have a nice amount of I/O on it. It has an excellent weight to it. It's not too odd when it comes to your actual grips. You have this nice slight little curvature to it that gives you a nice place for your fingers to rest, so the device can actually be palmed for quite a bit of time. It is Xbox controller based with some nice clicky buttons, so nothing too crazy there. You do have these additional face buttons. This one's going to be a show desktop button from my testing, and then you do have a virtual keyboard button as well as a quick settings button. Now, in these quick settings, you will have access to performance, fan speed, downsizing your display if you want to do that before you go into games. So if you're using Steam Big Picture or anything like that, it'll automatically take that display size. And then, of course, you do have your performance overlay, which you can set up. Now, you're going to see this in the videos coming up, but I actually have it here. You can just grab this and move it wherever you want. So if it's in a place you don't want to see it, you can move it over. Have no issues with that there. But for now, I just want to keep going over kind of what we have access to. For the purpose of the video, I have the brightness turned almost all the way down because when I turn it up, the screen is so bright, that beautiful OLED display, it just takes over the camera, so you can't really see it. So for now, I have it set to 25, but I'll tell you what, this OLED display is fantastic. The screen is, oh, it's just so beautiful. Now, that being one of the main selling points along with the actual processing power this bad boy has, this thing is beautiful. You don't really have anything sharp or jagged. It's a very smooth device. It kind of reminds me of the early iPhone when it came out, how it was just this groundbreaking little iPhone 3G, rounded, smooth. It almost feels futuristic. That, along with these awesome I/O ports that we have. We have the power button, this enhanced volume rocker, as I like to call it. It's just so massive. But I actually found that worked to its advantage. Like if I need to do this, I don't have to go up and look and just go like this. Go, all right, which one is it? I can just move my finger up, hit the button, we're good to go. Now, one of the key things that I really liked about this device when I was going through it, you have the USB-C charging port, and of course you have a USB 3.0 port up top, but on the bottom, you have another USB-C and then your micro SD card slot. Both of these can be used for power and accessories. What I really liked about this is that I could just throw this on a dock that has a bottom dock, like a switch dock, and just drop that right in, and then I still have access to do an eGPU or anything like that from the top. So definitely a big design plus in my book. Aside from that, the device just looks nice and it feels nice. You do have down facing speakers. I mean, they're nothing to write home about. They're loud, they get the job done. It's not something I would be I'm over the top about. If they were to take these away and put the speakers here, I think I would give it more credit where credit would be due, but it's not there. It's on the bottom. It's loud enough. I can hear it, but it's not going to be a perfect audio sound that you're looking for. So definitely nothing to write home about on that one. But overall, I mean, we're talking about a device that has a very premium feel. And listen, I've got some greasy fingers. You can see right there. When I touch this and I leave it, it actually just kind of goes away. So definitely enjoying the actual look of it. I've been using this thing for the past couple of weeks, and it doesn't have too many smudge marks. It is showing some on the back, but compared to how much I've used this, I was actually expecting quite a bit more to show up on there. I do like the design of this. I do like the material. You have your intake fan there, and then you have this massive exhaust right here, and it definitely kicks out quite a bit of air, especially when you're using this thing at about 30 watts. So you're gonna hear some noise. You're gonna hear those fans going. It's a little obtrusive, especially because the speakers are going to be coming from the bottom. So you're going to have the sound going down below you while you're holding it, and the fan and audio noise hitting you from the top. So it a little bit of a drawback. I think that design could have been done a little bit better, but you got to get that heat out. And I haven't had any issues with the thing getting hot, and I've been using it at 30 watts almost consistently the entire time. So definitely enjoying that. Our triggers have this fantastic throw to them, and they're nice and big. So I have massive hands. These bad boys can grab onto that no problem. And when I'm using it, that's one of the main things I noticed. It's just comfortable. And it being comfortable is kind of the main thing I'm looking for in a portable. Now, alongside of there, we actually have these two buttons right here, which are going to be our programmable buttons. This is a second mode button that you can easily reprogram inside the software. And then this one's actually dedicated to the Xbox home button. You can still reprogram it, but being that Steam Big Picture mode uses that a lot, and a lot of your actual games on here are going to use this button to pull up menus, massive fan that this is automatically dedicated to that. Now, if I go down here and I long press the keyboard button, you'll see a little light show up. That means that I can now use the mouse on this device through the joystick. So big fan of that. Easy to use. A is the select. It's really just an easy way to access it. If we want to get to the actual command center of this, and you can turn this on to be what loads when you start it in the settings, but if you long press your turbo button, which is going to bring out your little quick settings menu, it'll pull up the One console. Now, from here, we can easily access all of the different things that we can customize, go over all of this in here. We can even go into other where we have our performance presets that we can make, some extra resource downloads, gamepad check. These are Hall sensors, so I'm not concerned about stick drift. Now, I am going to hop over into some gameplay for you guys so we can take a look at that and kind of see how it's functioning. But aside from that, this device has been absolutely stellar. This is something you guys are going to see me go on about quite a bit. The battery life inside of this bad boy is abysmal. It is a 48.5 watt hour battery compared to the Ally, the ROG Ally X. It's lackluster. I can get about 3 hours of AAA gaming on a ROG Ally X. This I can get about an hour, kind of at most, and then I need to be near a charger. I need to plug it in because I'm not really going to be able to do it. But that's of course AAA gaming. I'm pushing the system as high as it can go. I don't turn it off turbo mode. It's on turbo. It's going the whole full tilt the whole time. I'm here to use this to its fullest. I'm not here to half tune it. I'm not here to get just a little bit out of it. I want to get the most I can out of it and get the most out of the game. So if I'm playing, when I'm playing Cyberpunk or anything like that, or if I want to play Destiny, because Destiny 2, I have to have a Windows-based handheld in order to be able to do it. Steam doesn't allow us, well, let me rephrase. Destiny or Bungie does not allow us to use the Steam Deck to play on it. So I have to use a Windows handheld. The ROG Ally was doing okay. It was playable, but after getting to use this and the power that comes with this device, I don't think I could actually use a ROG Ally for some of the more intensive games, because the power that comes with this bad boy lets me really push those actual titles to what I would consider to be an enjoyable, playable 60, maybe like 58 to 75 frames a second on a handheld that I can take with me anywhere with this beautiful OLED display. Oh yeah. This is a definite recommendation if you like to actually enjoy the games as if they were more closer to your PC counterpart. However, it comes at a very, very premium cost. This bad boy, I got the fully maxed out one just to kind of see what it would look like when it comes to the actual storage. So I got the 64 gig, 2 terabyte. I didn't go for the 4 terabyte. I'm not a madman. I am a little bit special, but I'm not. That's too much for me. Is it worth it? After using this for the last couple weeks, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna 100% say yes. The major drawback that I have is the battery, which can be solved with having just a battery pack that you bring around with you, or having the charger with you. We're in the 21st century. There aren't really too many places where you're not going to have access to power to potentially give this thing the extra bits that you need. And if you are going to be around a power source, let's say you're waiting at an airport or anything along those lines, or you're just hanging out in the living room, you can easily plug this thing into power, game with it right there on the spot, and if you need to go mobile, you can just unplug it and walk away. There is a battery preserve function that's in here. So if we go into here, into your quick settings, you can actually go down to your battery protection, and you can set where you want it to stop charging the battery, and then you can turn on bypass power supply. So what'll happen is it's going to charge all the way to full, and then it's going to stop using the battery. And given that this device is so much more compact than the ROG Ally X or Steam Deck, much smaller in comparison when it comes to the size and form factor of it, that I get why they couldn't fit it in there. I don't want some kind of hump on the back. I don't want something that's going to be intrusive. As I said, I have big hands. When I'm holding this, I'm holding it like so. So if there's a hump right here, it's just going to be obtrusive. I'm not going to enjoy it. It's not going to feel as premium or look as premium with just some sort of bump in the middle to allow for that battery pack. Could they have made it a tiny bit taller? Yeah, but for the form factor these guys were going for, I have to admit, they knocked the design of this thing out the park. So there's such a quality premium feel to this device. I love it. This is definitely my new go-to handheld. I haven't used the ROG except for I think yesterday when I was getting back on it just to test and see how everything was. And I found the experience after using the more powerful processor to actually be lackluster. I was not having fun. I was trying to play Destiny on it. I didn't have a good time with that. I tried to do Cyberpunk. I could notice the lack of performance that I was getting when I used the same settings I was having on here. And even on this, I dropped everything down to low just so I could see the higher number and just get a more consistent experience. I like the higher frames with less texture for my personal usage. I'm not looking to get it up to medium just to get maybe 50 out of it. That's not what I'm here for. I want to see how high I can push this thing at a consistent rate, and if I can get it above 60 on a 144 hertz refresh screen, just this beautiful OLED, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm all for it. That's my cup of tea. That's what I'm trying to get out of this thing. Now, if you're somebody who wants to have just a beautiful display, you don't mind locking it down at like 30, I still think you go for this. Yes, it is a little bit more expensive than its counterparts. However, the performance that you're getting is going to be more close to a desktop experience, especially because most of the people that are buying these handhelds, from what I've found in some of my research online, they already have a device. They already have a PC. They're just looking for something portable. Now, if you're somebody that doesn't have a PC and you're deciding if you want this to be your replacement PC, realistically, you're going to get, if you get this, you need to get a mouse, you need to get a keyboard, you need to get a monitor. For the cost of doing this and a monitor, or this plus an eGPU that ONEXFLY sells, you really could build a desktop PC. And if your concern is being more portable and you want to have something you can take with you because you're always on the train or you're doing commutes and things like that, just get this. Just get this. Get the dock that comes with it so you can dock it when you get home, have dedicated power, and just run with it. This could effectively be a replacement for a PC. I don't often say that, but this feels like a console. This feels like a replacement device. So some of your PlayStation games are only getting 30. Some of the PS5 games are only getting 30 FPS. They're not really actually giving you 60. Xbox, you'll get a little bit more out of it, but let's be very real about this. If I'm getting this handheld and I'm spending the money on this, because it is a price tag, it is $13.99 for the base model of this, $500 more than the ROG Ally X, and that's the new one with the updated chip. You want to get all the bang and goodies out of this. Does the 64 gig have more RAM than you're going to need? Absolutely. Is it just a flex point? Yes. However, with this bad boy right here, using 32 and 2 terabytes of onboard storage, no problem. The 30 watt hour pull that you get from this, the way it maxes out the CPU and uses everything to its fullest, you are gaming. You're gaming. Now, that's just me rambling about it. I say it's a net positive. There are some major drawbacks to take a look at, though. You are going to be talking about the battery life on this thing. That is honestly the main drawback of this entire device, is battery life. Aside from battery life, better performance, better screen, better feel, this is a great device. You just have to note that you don't have very long at that ultimate speed that you're trying to look for. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. And if you guys have any ideas on the device I should use next, go ahead and make sure to leave a like, thumbs up, and comment down below. Thanks, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.